Okay, so hi everyone, my name is Amanda Silva. I am the small grains specialist at Oklahoma State University. We are here in Altus today in one of the variety trials that we have. So I'm responsible for supervising the small grains variety trials at Oklahoma State. And today we are here and we are gonna take a look at the varieties in the trial. And first of all, I wanted to thank Oklahoma Wheat Commission for their support with the trials and the producers for their check-off dollars that made this research possible. And so let's just also what I wanted to point out that in the trials now we have the plot maps included here, and we have the information of our county extension educator Gary Strickland, who is here with me today. And if you wanted to know more about some varieties, about information of the trials, feel free to contact us. Here we have Duster variety, so I just want to go ahead and describe each one of them. Me and Gary will go over them with you guys. So we have Duster variety. Duster is a variety that was released in 2006. It's a very old variety, but it's a good forage, good grazer variety. It has a good disease resistance for Hessian fly, excellent resistance for leaf rust. It is on the medium side of maturity, has a good acid soil tolerance, and it's on the susceptible side for lodging, so it can't lodge. So as I mentioned, it's a variety that is it's been released quite a while, so there are better varieties out there for forage and for grazing, we would say.
Duster is a variety that we will see in southwest Oklahoma some. I think that probably one of the mistakes, Amanda, that happened with Duster originally is you can plant Duster too thick and it can be a problem. Duster is a very proficient tillering plant. It tillers early and with a lot of tillers, and if you get it planted too thick, then you start running into lodging issues and things like that because you have too many stems out there.
And so here we are with Gallagher. Gallagher is basically like a son of Duster, so it has a good grazability, a good resistance to Hessian fly and leaf rust, and intermediately resistance to stripe rust. It's on the early side of maturity. It has an early first hollow stem, and it's moderately tolerant to acid soils, more susceptible also for lodging. Overall, good leaf health, good drought tolerance, and because of that early first hollow stem, maybe you can graze it for too long if you are under a dual purpose system.
A lot of acres in southwest Oklahoma had two Gallagher. We really looked at Gallagher quite a bit. A few years ago we started having Hessian fly problems in this area. So we were looking at those varieties. Duster was kind of the cornerstone of Hessian fly resistance for us. And then we saw that in Gallagher, and we picked up a lot of acres with Gallagher towards it. So it's been a good purpose variety, dual purpose variety. A lot of acres to it now, but I think, we're starting to look at other varieties as well now. But still, this was a good all-purpose variety.
Yes. We got that freeze a few days ago, and this variety here is showing some signs, some possible signs of the freeze damage. We can see the white tips of the awns. We are not able to fully access the freeze damage here, but we are seeing some symptoms. So Skydance is a high yield variety, good forage producer, has an excellent dough strength. It's adapted to the central Oklahoma. It's a variety that can be considered for organic production systems and for late planting. So it's more for grain only systems, resistance to stripe rust, moderately resistance to leaf rust, very early on the first hollow stem and early heading. It's very tolerant to acid soils, and it's average, below average on the lodging tolerance. So it has a premium quality, a good test weight, and it's a variety that is better if it's kept down in the state because of its average winter hardness. And also one of the things here that I mentioned, it's for a grain only system because it has a weak tolerance after for grazing after pull off.
Right. Probably not your best recovery after a grazing type system. One thing we like about Skydance when you look at it is it does have some drought tolerance. It responds well to lower end situations. Mm-hmm. It's actually at the Tipton trials, it was the best in nitrogen use efficiency recovery there. So it has some qualities that seem like they might fit there.
Okay, so OK Corral is the newest release from OSU. It's a beardless wheat, as you can see. It has a high yield potential under dual purpose system, so it's a variety that can be used for as a hay, in a dual purpose system, and in a grain only system. So it has a great combination of quality and agronomics, and has a good disease resistance package. Yeah. Hessian fly, stripe rust, leaf rust, and so on. It's on the medium side of maturity. We are seeing medium first hollow stem, tolerant to acid soils, tolerant to lodging, good tolerance to low nitrogen rates. And one of the things that we are still learning about it, it's the forage production in the fall. So we are seeing that it's sometimes in one of the trials it was not so aggressive, and we are also getting some good forage production. So we are still learning more about its fall forage growth.
In chiming in with Amanda, the disease package on this one is really impressive. And the reason we look at those things is because when we can trim inputs, we improve our returns on these crops. So this is one of those varieties that we see some of those things coming together in.
Just another thing to mention that I forgot, it's about its test weight. So you can see a little bit of decrease in the test weight as you move away from the west. So it's something for us to keep our eyes on it too. Okay, so here let's just take a look at some of the west bred varieties. So here we have WB 4269. It's a variety with a high grain yield potential. It's adapted to the central and east part of Oklahoma. It has a good disease resistance package, a good combination of resistance to leaf rust, stripe rust. It's on the early side of first hollow stem. It's tolerant to acid soils. It has a good lodging tolerance, high tillering potential. It's a state green variety. It has a good test weight. It has more like an erect growth habit, so you may benefit from, if you plant it in narrow rows, to have the fall canopy closure more rapid. Okay, so WB 4515, it's a variety also with a high grain yield potential, a good milling and baking quality. It's adapted to the east side of Oklahoma, to the I-35 corridor. It has a good forage production. We saw like a slow emergence, but it has a good forage production. On the intermediate side of resistance to stripe rust, and moderately susceptible to leaf rust. Also mid to late heading and mid-early first hollow stem. So it's moderately tolerant to acid soils, good tolerance to lodging. It has a very good test weight, high tillering variety. It has more like a prostrate growth, so you see the canopy closure more rapid in the fall. And it's recommended to apply fungicide if there is a high pressure of leaf rust in the field.
And probably it's a little more intermediate on Hessian fly resistance. You see some tolerance there, but I think it has more of that rating towards intermediate when it comes to Hessian fly.
So here we have WB 4699. It's a variety with a high yield potential. It's its second year in our trial, so we'll know more about it by the end of the season from our variety results. And it has average forage production. We're still learning more about it. Good disease resistance package, intermediately resistance to stripe rust, good resistance against leaf rust. On the early side of first hollow stem, and overall mid to late maturity. And it's an excellent tolerance to lodging. It's an overall shorter variety, as you can see here. Good test weight and protein, and it's on a certified seed only.
And mentioning test weight and protein, it's one that you need to make sure you have the nitrogen in place for it to maximize that. On that, would you agree with that, Amanda?
Yes, yes.
That? So I think it's a nice looking variety. I think we've had some guys look at it down here, but I don't think it's been heavily used yet.
We have WB 4792. It's a variety that has shown a good yield, very good milling and baking quality. Also second year in the trial, so we are still learning about it. We'll have more information about it by the end of the season. Has shown good forage production, good disease resistance package with a combination against leaf rust, stripe rust, Hessian fly, even with streak mosaic. On the mid to late side of maturity, very good lodging tolerance, very good test weight, and its resistance to wheat streak mosaic makes it suitable for the western region. We have WB 4595. It's a variety that has shown an excellent yield potential and a great test weight. It has a good forage production, but more like on the slow start of emergence. Intermediately resistance to leaf rust, stripe rust. We are seeing more also medium maturity, on the medium side of maturity. It's susceptible to acid soils, but it has a good lodging tolerance. Good tillering variety, showing a good fall coverage, drought tolerance. So it's a variety that is more recommended to keep on the west side of Oklahoma.
And I think, Amanda, you touched on some things that are very important. The drought tolerance, good forage possibilities, and disease package. We have some growers that are looking at this and trying it a year, so it is a variety, again, that you look has been identified to the west.
WB 4401, it's one of the new releases from Westbred. It's its first year in our trial, so we are still learning about it. We did not have time to put in the forage trials this year because of when the seed came in. We had already established the forage trial, but we are getting more information about it. It's looking good. It has an intermediate resistance to stripe rust. And now that we are seeing an overall high pressure of septoria, this variety is showing on the low pressure side, so we might have a moderately resistance to septoria. It's on the medium side of maturity, and it's looking good so far.
Another one of those certified seed only type situations, though.
So let's take a look here on the AgriPro Syngenta variety. So this is the SY Achieve CL Plus. It's a variety with a good yield and forage potential. It's more targeted for the central and north central of Oklahoma. It has that 2-gene herbicide tolerance again, for the clear field system. So it's a good forage variety. It has resistance to stripe rust. It's on the very early side of first hollow stem. Moderately tolerant to acid soils. Moderately tolerant to lodging. Very good test weight. Good baking and milling quality.
And I think, Amanda, you spoke to the fact that it's another option for us for clearfield varieties if you need to come up with one. It performed moderately well in the Altus trials here, so it again is one of those options that's out there.
Another one from AgriPro, we have SY Rugged. It's a high yielding dryland variety. It has a good grazability, a great disease resistance against leaf rust and stripe rust, so great combination against those. On the mid-early side of first hollow stem, tolerant to acid soils, moderately tolerant to lodging, very good test weight, drought tolerance. It's suited for most of the areas here in Oklahoma.
Yeah, it has. I think it's another one of those variety per its name. It's kind of a tough variety, does well, did fairly well in the Altus trials this last year. Wasn't the top yielder, but it was still in there in that intermediate range. And it has that drought tolerance, so I think it has a fit in the Southwest. Would you tend to agree with that?
Yes, for sure. SY Benefit, it's also a good yielding variety. It's adapted to the central and eastern regions. It's on the average side of forage production. Resistance to those leaf spotters disease like septoria, 10 spot, moderately resistance to stripe rust. Very early first hollow stem, early heading, and as you can see here also it's showing some whitish tips in the ounce, but we are not able to see any heavy freeze damage from it. Its tolerance to acid soils, it has an average tolerance to lodging, good test weight, good milling and baking quality. It may benefit from fungicide against leaf rust diseases. So Bob Dole is a very high yielding variety. It's targeted more for the central corridor of Oklahoma. It has a quick start, a quick establishment of the fall pasture, excellent disease resistance against leaf rust, stripe rust, 10 spot, septoria, and on the medium side of maturity, tolerance to acid soils, has a good lodging tolerance, is a fairly tall variety, good test weight, good baking quality, drought tolerant. It has more like a limited tillering ability, but overall it's showing good yields in our trials.
And I think it's one that Bob Dole's a unique deal. It has some drought tolerance in it, but Amanda, when you think about it and you look at your intensively management plots, it really responds to inputs on it. And so if you're geared up to head towards high yielding potential, Bob Dole is one that seems to respond to those inputs.
Exactly. So this is AP Ever Rock. It's a new released variety from AgriPro. It's first year in our trial, so you're still getting information about it, you're still learning more about it. It's showing average forage production in our forage trials. We have seen that it's tolerant to acid soils. It has a good tolerance against lodging. And yeah, so we're still learning about it, but it's looking good. Taking a look at some of the Kansas varieties, we have Zenda. Zenda has a very good yield potential. It's more adapted to the northern area of Oklahoma. It is considered a replacement of Everest. So it has an intermediate resistance against stripe rust, leaf rust, and septoria. On the mid-early side of maturity, but it's a few days later as compared to Everest. Its tolerance against acid soils, it has an excellent straw strength, so against lodging. It has an improved quality as compared to Everest. It's doing good.
And I would say that I think that the comment that Amanda you make there about it being more for northern Oklahoma, we tried some Everest in southwest Oklahoma, and it actually did okay down in here, but it has its limitations when you get hot and dry in our area. So this is a variety, when you look at it as being an improvement on Everest, that I think, yeah, it's one that it's going to find its spot better in northern Oklahoma than for us.
So here we have KS Dallas. It's first year in our trial. It seems to have a very good yield potential. It's more for the northwestern areas of Oklahoma and Panhandle. Has a good forage production, a strong disease resistance package, good against leaf rust, stripe rust, wheat streak mosaic, early side of first hollow stem, medium side of heading as far as maturity.
Yep.
Susceptible to acid soils. It has a moderate tolerance against lodging. You're seeing average test weight, good baking and milling quality. Okay, so here we have KS Western Star. So it's first year in our trials, and as the name says, it's more adapted to the northwestern areas of Oklahoma in Panhandle. It has a good forage production. It's more like for grain-only systems. It's moderately resistant to stripe rust. It has resistance to leaf rust. It's on the late side of maturity. It's susceptible to acid soils. It has a good straw strength. And it has resistance to the wheat curl mites, which gives it a chance against the wheat streak mosaic virus.
Which is, I think, it's a very important thing if you're dealing with that type of disease, viral disease. Having that resistance is very important and key in a variety.
Here we have KS Silverado. It's first year in our trials as well. It's a hard white wheat. It has a broad adaptation to the central and west of Oklahoma. Good forage production, good disease resistance package against stripe rust, leaf rust. It's more recommended for grain-only systems. On the mid-early side of maturity, it has a moderate tolerance to acid soils, very good tolerance to lodging. It's also tolerant to the pre-harvest sprouting, and overall it has a great disease resistance package.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good strength. Disease resistance package is very good for the rust on it, so that's pretty good. Maybe a little bit weaker on stripe rust, but still has some good resistance in there.
Okay, so taking a look here at some varieties from Lima Grain, we have LCS Chrome. So this variety has shown to be a very good yield variety, especially under grazing. Broadly adopted in Oklahoma under irrigation and dry land. Good forage production, a good disease resistance package, especially with the combination against leaf rust and stripe rust. It's on the late side of maturity. It's late to first hollow stem. Tolerance to acid soils, excellent against lodging, so it's more like a medium height variety. Good protein and a good test weight. It's a good variety, and it's also recommended to plant it on time.
As good, we've grown acres at this in southwest Oklahoma. Is a good dual purpose wheat, is a good grain producer, will respond under irrigation as well as in dryland conditions. Amanda has Hessian fly resistance. I think there's some question, is it intermediate, is it resistant? But we do know that we do have some resistance in it, and it had found a home here a couple of years ago because of our Hessian fly issue, and Chrome performed well under those conditions. So a good overall variety when you consider both its grain and grazing capabilities, disease package, and some Hessian fly resistance in it.
Okay, so here you have LCS Photon AX from Lima Grain as well. It's also a coaxium variety. It has the 2-gene herbicide tolerance for the aggressor brand herbicides. Good forage production. It's on the medium side of maturity. We don't have much information about its acid soil tolerance and lodging yet. As I said, it's one of the new releases and we're still learning about it. Very good test weight. It's a fairly tall variety, so it's better if planted under low rainfall environments. Yep. Grain quality is good and protein is good.
And I think that's something that we're looking at, Amanda, is the fact that we do have a note that it is good under low rainfall environments. Attractive to us in this area where we can have those hotter and drier conditions, see how it responds, but it gives us another one of those varieties in that coaxium system that allows us to deal with some weed pressures in the field that we haven't been able to deal with.
Okay, so here we have another lima grain variety, T173. It's first year in our trial, so we are also still learning about it. It's a beardless wheat, as you can see. It is marketed as a forage variety. We are seeing an average forage production in our first year in the forage trials. It was a late to first hollow stem in both of the locations that we tested this year for forage and for first hollow stem. It's a fairly tall varieties. You see more like a prostrate growth, a good option for grazing.
And one of the things that we don't know is or have as much information on is the disease resistance package on this. We need to evaluate. Yeah. Although this year, Amanda, as we look at, we're seeing some stripe rust, some leaf spotting out in there. How it impacts yield in the end, we'll have to wait and see, but that's one of those things we're still determining about this variety.
Taking a look here at varieties from Texas A&M, marketed by Ag Seco. This here we have TEM 114. This variety here, it has shown a below average forage production overall in our trials. It has a good disease resistance against leaf rust and stripe rust. On the early side of first hollow stem, and it's on the medium side of heading as far as maturity. Its tolerance to acid soils, very good lodging tolerance, good test weight, good milling and baking quality. Actually, very good Dole strength and very high tillering ability this variety has.
Yeah, again, you mentioned it. I believe you said good forage response. Is that correct?
It's been like on the below average.
Oh, below average.
Yeah, forage production.
We've seen acres of TAM 114 grown in Southwest Oklahoma. One of the things was with its disease resistance package, it's come on and it has been an improvement over some of our TAM varieties, and it's done well down here. Producers have grown it. It's yielded well in the trial. We like the fact that it is drought tolerant. Mm-hmm. It'll hang in there when we get those dry conditions and still give us some production. So I have growers every year looking at this variety, and I know we've had acres that have been planted to it.
Here's also a variety from Plains Gold, Colorado. We have Guardian. This variety that it was released last year, and the main strength of this variety it's combined resistance against the wheat curl mite and the wheat streak mosaic virus. So it has a great resistance against that. Also, it has a resistance to stripe rust, and it's moderately resistant to leaf rust. So great disease resistance package. It's on the medium side of maturity, although we are seeing here that they are at anthesis, so a little bit more advanced here in this location as far as heading and flowering. Good protein and test weight, as well as milling and baking quality. Okay, so here taking a look at varieties marketed by Cropland, we have CP7869. It's second year in our trial, so we are seeing more on the average side of forage production in the fall. Great disease resistance against leaf rust and stripe rust. It's on the mid-late side of maturity. We have a very good straw strength and lodging tolerance, good test weight, and on the average side of protein. Here also from Cropland we have CP7909, also second year in our trials. It's more adapted to the northwestern and high plains areas. It's shown also average forage production on the mid side of maturity, good straw strength, and so lodging tolerance, high protein concentration, and high response to nitrogen and fungicide.
Yeah, good variety. One of those that looks nice out here, but it's going to be one that, again, you need to manage your fungal diseases when you look at it.
Also here from Cropland, we have CP7010. It's first year in our trial, so we are still gathering information about it, and we're still learning about it. So at this time, we don't have much things to say, but overall it's looking good in our trials, and we will know more about it by the end of the season.
Yeah, I would agree. It's one that we think we're seeing a lot bit of leaf spotters down low in the canopy though. Up top it's not too bad, but down low in the canopy we've seen some leaf spotting diseases, but again, we need to learn more about this one as we progress with it. Well, Amanda, we appreciate you coming down and being part of the field tour down here. Interesting as we think about wheat in southwest Oklahoma, its growth and development stage. You and I have talked about the fact that we seem to be a little earlier this year, kind of ahead of the game. And as we went across the varieties here, you look that we're everything from boot to headed. Really, we're more headed than anything, and we're definitely flowering in a lot of cases.
Yes.
As we've traveled around southwest Oklahoma, and I know you've had some trips down here, have you been kind of seeing some of the same thing that I have, that we're pretty mature at this point in the game?
Yes, it's very advanced, all from boot to anthesis to flowering, exactly what you're seeing. So
and that's obviously also one of our concerns with the 2 nights of freeze a few nights ago, is that because of the maturity stage of our wheat, you know, we're a little concerned about that. But again, we need towards the end of next week, even to the first of the next one, to really ascertain what damage, if any, did we occur through that. But yeah, we've moved along quickly this year. Wheat looks good though. We have some good yield potential in a lot of this wheat when we look at it down here. Unfortunately, we did have a hailstorm move in here too on the west side. If you heard something about that?
Yes, I heard about that, and I'm glad it did not hit our trials here. No, but yeah, I heard about that, and yeah, and I heard about some losses too from that hail damage. But about the freeze damage that we got early in the week, we are seeing some symptoms, but we'll know better. Like you said, we'll know better maybe later next week.
Right. Make some of those assertions at that point of what damage has happened, but those are springtime conditions that you have to deal with every year when you're dealing with wheat production.
Yes,
right? So
for sure.
But again, I know you got some closing comments, but for me to you, thank you for being here and us having the tour here together this morning.
No, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all the work you do with the trials. I know that would not be possible without you, without your help. So I really appreciate you being here today and being here in the trials. And yeah, so if everyone, if you guys have questions, so we have Gary Strickland here who understands a lot about the varieties, about our trials, and who takes care of our trials. So make sure to contact him, to contact me if you have questions. We have here and also for more information, look at our website that is also right here in this sign, wheat.okstate.edu. I always try to post things on Twitter, so follow us on Twitter, on Facebook, that we are out there, and let us know if you have any questions. So thank you for being here, for listening about all the varieties, and yeah, thank you.
And we'll give a shout out too to our Southwest Research and Extension Center station crew here, Mike Schultz and company. We certainly appreciate all the work and effort they put at hosting these research plots and trials and helping get this information out to producers. certainly wouldn't happen without the support of the research
That
station
is
staff.
for sure. Mike Schultz for its support, for help, for everything, for preparing all the ground for us to come here and get here to plant, and everything is in perfect condition. So thanks everybody that is involved, that is helping us. Thanks for the support of the Wheat Commission and for the producers for their check of dollars. Thank you very much.